Palestine. I find that no one wants to discuss the American Palestine. Like Palestine. The open-air prison. East Palestine, Ohio, introduces medical digital ID because of what was going on there. Any opportunity, right? And so I just wonder how much of that was planned. How much of that is a planned military operation? I can't prove that. I just wonder at that point. A lot of terrible stuff happening around all that. A lot of terrible things. But they use it as an opportunity to bring in the digital ID. Right? So if you didn't think the UK it's over there, no, they're going to find a way to bring it in and keep introducing it, just seeding the plan for the digital technocratic governance world that disregards everything in your life, hands over all the power to the bureaucrat and then to the civil authority to abuse you because you live in a prison, and nobody ever stopped it. And this is at a time where they want to do this overarching monitoring, and when there's people in the country that want to monitor the wardens and the guards of the prison, they get attacked and beat up and put in prison. We see that there's still something remaining, and this is, I don't know where this really holds up, but it does hold up. And what I keep telling you, make your proper records, because you might be the one that has the case that brings it forward. A lot of people don't. A lot of people with a lot of knowledge, property that I can see, some of them properly applied, are not getting the time of day for remedy that are supposed to be guaranteed. The warden and the guard get the preference. That's not a free people. But there is some freedom within the guard, within the open-air prison. The court rules that live streaming police officers is a First Amendment right. Why that court had to declare this, I don't know. But here we have it, a story. If you didn't know better, if you were confused, if COVID got your brain and you got jabbed and you got jab harm, here we're going to have a reinforcement. The United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit decided earlier this week that the banning live streaming of some police activities is a violation of the First Amendment. Some. Be careful here. Watch carefully. Go back to the court case and look through it. Make sure you stay on the right side of the law when you're doing this. You do live in an open-air prison, folks, and they don't like that you're watching them. Okay. The ruling was announced in the ongoing Sharp versus Winterville Police Department case. DeJohn Sharp sued the local police in this North Carolina town on First Amendment and other grounds. The incident that sparked the legal battle happened when Sharp, after being pulled over by traffic police, started live streaming and the goings-on Facebook. An officer named in the complaint tried to stop this by taking away Sharp's phone through the car's window, and he and another officer also warned Sharp that while he could record their activity live streaming, it was not allowed, saying that it would threaten their safety. And again, their safety, fear of the guard being hurt is the paramount thing here, national security. Sharp was then threatened himself with having his phone seized and getting arrested. Anyway, we'll read more. The setup is that eventually it's decided he does have the right. So those of you that I understand are auditors, don't talk to that much. I ask you to be careful. Look at the bounds of your local law. Look at what's going on. If you have a question relative to that, a question relative to how you can do it, maybe get that as a declaratory judgment so you don't get in trouble. In this case, he's also being accosted by a traffic violation, which I would guarantee was improperly applied. You certainly see where the guards go immediately to "I fear for my life." That's another problem. Luckily, there was no firefight, fire on their part. But we see that it is a right. We do get to at least film our oppressors. And I say, where you can, do so. Do it so intelligently. While Biden now, it's maybe twisting a little bit here, we may be getting a little more support in the prison. Biden says police who violate trust should be held accountable in State of the Union. Well, we'll look at qualified immunity and find out how narrow that trust is made relative to what their rights against that is. So now it's Biden. We can now support ourselves with Biden saying, renewed his call for the police reform, saying police who violate the public trust should be held accountable, and law enforcement officials should be given necessary training to be held to higher standards. Well, the necessary training happens to be the qualified immunity. They could be a moron. They could be a monkey, declare themselves to be a monkey that's taken an oath to uphold the law, and that's good enough that they're ignorant. to protect them if they shoot you. Is really where this whole thing has gone, where the Supreme Court has really come off the rails with this. On that point, we now see, though, when you're up against qualified immunity, it's a tough thing. Hudson, thankfully, Sixth Circuit denies qualified immunity to police officer after treatment of motorists. So in the same vein of the motorist attachment here, and qualified immunity, and then there's a removal of it, between these tabs you get the beginning sources to go after the ability to parse through what facts need to be stated in order to strip someone of qualified immunity. As we see, the Supreme Court rejects Ohio man's bid to sue police over arrest on the Facebook parody, in which the Onion joined, and I reported on all that. He's apparently lost. Find out how qualified immunity protected the warden and the guards against his claim for a protectable interest. This is really getting to a problematic point where the courts are making it almost impossible to do it, and yet there's a sliver of hope, the narrow path. If you can meet it, you might be able to get a remedy. I hope you do. I hope you look at that. I hope I've said something today that'll help you, and I'll be with you next week. Tech Diffs for Nature Radio.
Well, that's another lesson. I hope with today's information you can take it to those that misbehave. From behind the woodshed, leaving his mark on the beast, this is Hal Anthony. Till next time, journey with purpose.
That's what opening up a can of whoop-ass feels like.
Son, you just opened a whole case of whoop-ass.